Hello, hello, and good evening. Welcome to this edition of the Cancer Coach Talks. I'm your host, Leslie Nance, and tonight we are going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, which is the fact that there is no amount of anxiety that is going to solve any of the problems that you may be facing in your cancer journey. So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it takes a little while to catch up. So to know that you guys are here, I'm just going to do a quick check like I always do and try not to be too disruptive. Looks like we're good. And good. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Let me introduce myself super fast. My name is Leslie Nance. I am a certified holistic cancer coach, certified holistic nutritionist, and almost 7-year cancer survivor. And I come here on Tuesday nights, really helping you to form a new relationship, maybe with what is happening to you in the form of cancer. And sometimes we talk about nutrition and sometimes we talk about mindset, but we do a lot of helpful tips and tricks on how to really put things in perspective and help you heal, maybe even help you unblock some healing pathways along the way. So thank you so much for joining. It's super good to have you here. I do this every Tuesday night at 6 p.m., except next Tuesday night, I will not be doing this because I'm going to be sharing a little mini break with my husband for my birthday, which was actually last Wednesday, but we're celebrating it this coming weekend. So thank you guys for joining. Tonight is something that I used to have very little patience for. I'm just going to be super transparent with you guys, because people that struggled with anxiety and depression and mindset issues, I did not have a lot of empathy for. And this has changed dramatically in my own personal journey. Hi, Anne. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. This has really changed in my own personal journey, has really taught me a little bit about how to have more empathy for the subject that I'm going to discuss tonight. And I have to say that through my own personal journey, that it has truly enlightened me on my own struggles with fear and anxiety that I never knew existed in my own being until I was faced with something like cancer. So this is very personal to me as well. Hi, Anne-Marie. It's a long time no chat. Hi, Anne-Marie. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys have not already, please share out with your own personal community. You never know who needs this information, who is just waiting to hear a piece of information that I'm sharing tonight. So please share out to your communities. I know a lot of you are members of lots of groups and lots of cancer groups for your specific cancer. So if you don't mind sharing out there as well, I would super appreciate it. And so will the people that you're sharing it with. So we're just going to jump right in. And I think that there is a delineation between two types of people that are allowing cancer to be in the driver's seat and people that have put cancer in the back seat. And it doesn't mean that cancer is out of the car completely necessarily. It just means that you are one of two people. You are either letting it boss you around and it's in the driver's seat and it's taking you places, or you have stuck it in the back seat and said, look I am driving this. I'm driving this journey. You are not. I'm the boss. You are not. And so this is to tell where you're at with that. Here are the two different types of people and some of the characteristics. If you are letting cancer in the driver's seat, you might find that you are anxious all the time, that you're worried all the time. Maybe you're trying to crystal ball what your future is going to be like. Will I live? Will I die? Will this chemo work? Will it not work? Will this treatment work? Will it not work? What will my life be like 5 years from now? Will I be really sick? What will my family do without me? You are truly trying to crystal ball what your life is going to be. And very rarely in your life have you done this leading up to this cancer diagnosis. But cancer gives us this sense of urgency, like we have to try to figure out what the whole rest of our life is going to be like. And I have news for you. You can't do that. Sometimes everything feels very urgent. You feel like you need to act right in this very moment. You need to act, you need to act in this very second, that you need to make a split decision right now of something massive in your life, like having your breast removed or doing chemotherapy or having surgery at all, or, having a body part taken off or whatever it is. You feel like this sense of urgency. And sometimes, I will say 95% of the time, it's not as urgent as it feels. There is a small percentage when you do need to act quickly. But a lot of times it's just this, the cancer gives us this sense of urgency that is a little bit of a false sense of urgency. Sometimes if cancer's in the driver's seat, you might find yourself overly emotional. You might find that you could cry at the drop of the hat, or maybe for some people you feel angry, that things anger you very easily, or you get really upset or really agitated really easily. That would mean that cancer is in the driver's seat. Maybe your thoughts are consumed with cancer. You can't think of anything else. I know when I was diagnosed, before I decided what I was going to do with my treatments, I would just sit in my office at our old business. We had an antique store, and I would just sit there and stare out the window, just blankly, like it just consumed every ounce of my body. And it was so debilitating, and cancer was so in the driver's seat when that was happening. And sometimes if cancer's in the driver's seat, you end up feeling sicker. You feel like cancer's taking over your whole body, when indeed it's totally not. But you have this impression that cancer is just ravaging your body. And you visualize that happening. You visualize that it's just moving and growing, and oh my goodness. And so many times, how many times have I worked with a client that they have said, I'm feeling really nauseous. They're not even in cancer treatments. They've just been diagnosed, and they're like, I'm feeling really nauseous, and my appetite is really bad, and I'm not sleeping well, and I have a pain in my belly, or a pain in my back, or my shoulders are really tight, or I have a headache all the time. And they think that it's the cancer that's spreading, but really what is happening is that cancer is in the driver's seat, and the anxiety that it's causing is making you feel sicker. And so if you're experiencing any of those things, chances are that cancer is in the driver's seat and not in the back seat. Now then, if cancer's in the back seat, you might be the person that is actively seeking solutions. Instead of dwelling on the problem, you're actively seeking solutions. You're actively looking for, what is the best thing for me? What is the best choice? Do I have my breast removed? Do I not? Do I need to have a part of my colon resected, or do I not? You're making good decisions about your future, and you're taking control of the situation. And that's how one of the ways that you know that cancer is actually in the back seat. You're taking life one day at a time. You're taking pieces of news as they come in nuggets, instead of like this big picture, oh my gosh, freaking out scenario. You are taking in information one piece at a time, and you're digesting it, and you're understanding, and you're finding solutions about what comes next. So maybe if you've put cancer in the back seat, this is happening. You're looking for options and solutions instead of always dwelling on the problem. You're absorbing information without freaking out. You're taking in information. You're like, okay, that's a piece of news. What do I do about that? Instead of going, oh my gosh, you're kidding me. That's going to happen. And you start spinning out of control. You understand your body's ability to heal if cancer's in the back seat. You truly understand that you are designed for healing, and you're giving your body the information to do so. And you're controlling your emotions. You're controlling emotional outbursts. You're really taking control of that situation. And you're, even though you feel the emotions, you're not letting it drive the cancer boat. Okay. and that you know that you have a future. So if you're being the boss of your cancer, you know, if cancer's in the back seat, you know that you have a future. You know that hashtag cancer is not your destiny. And so tonight, I want to share with you 3 tips to help put cancer in the back seat. Now, these are high level tips. This is not going to solve all your problems tonight, but it is going to get the ball rolling. Okay. So I want you to take this information and I want you to see it as a tool, but I don't want you to see it as the end all be all. There are lots of things. There are many things that you can do to help put cancer in the back seat. This is just a small piece of that puzzle. So my husband has a saying. He had struggled with anxiety, general anxiety disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Right. Thank you so much for being here, Eugene. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for everybody that's being here. By the way, if you've not shared out, please share out. We would love to have you here. Oh, you're very welcome, Sharon. Thank you so much for being here. It's good to have you here. But if you, my husband struggled with general anxiety disorder and post-traumatic stress after my diagnosis. And he did really well during my diagnosis and during treatments and everything, and then fell completely apart. And he has utilized many tools to put my cancer in the back seat of his life instead of letting it drive the boat. And so one of the things that he does that I think is so powerful is that he has sticky notes in his office in several places, and they simply say this: if I worry, will it help? If I worry, will it help? I'm going to type that in. I'm going to type that in right now. This is what he says. This is what he has everywhere. If I worry, whoops, typed it wrong. Will it help? I'm going to give him credit for this because I think that this is amazing. If I worry, will it help? Have you asked yourself this question? Have you ever asked this question? This is such a powerful notion. This is such a powerful example of our mind and our mindset. And 99.9% of the time, I dare to say 100% of the time, the answer is no. It will not help. And that's why I say that no amount of anxiety is going to change what is happening to you. You can have all the anxiety in the world. You're only making things worse. You're not making things better. So it's time to grab a hold of that and stop letting it boss you around. So here's my first tip. My first tip for beating this back is to stay curious. Very, very easy tip. Being complacent and wallowing around in what is happening to you. Oh my God, I have cancer. Oh my God, I'm going to, this is going to steal my life. Oh my gosh, this is going to change my life forever. Oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my sex drive, and I'm going to lose my boobs, and I'm going to lose my hair, and I'm going to lose this, and I'm going to lose that. My whole life is going to change because of this. Why did this have to happen to me? Instead of that, being the victim of the circumstance, staying curious about what is happening to you really puts you in a powerful place. Have you ever met a child that is incredibly curious? Why? This puts you in a powerful position. This child is absorbing information as fast as they can get it, and you should be also. When we walk from a point of curiosity and we ask questions, then we're brave enough to say to our doctor, well, why is that? And why does that happen? And what will happen if I choose this? And what will happen if I choose that? And all of a sudden you have all these options because you are finding solutions. This is how you destroy the freak out. So you've uprooted your negative assumptions and you've replaced them with constructive ones. So instead of making all these negative assumptions about what is going to happen to you, you replace them with constructive ones that says, this is how I get out of this. This is the path that I take to get out of this. Make sense? It's a very powerful mindset shift. Instead of saying, what if the chemo doesn't work? What if you're saying, how can I help the chemotherapy work better? What if surgery makes me really sick? What if I don't recover well? Instead of saying that, why not say, how do I help my body recover from surgery? Do you see the shifts? Do you see how those shift the perspectives so quickly? Don't try to get rid of the thoughts. It's not very effective to try to get rid of the thoughts. Instead, you need to go with your gut instinct and find out what the truth is. If you're having a negative thought, it's not as easy as just replacing that thought. It's actually getting down to what the truth is. Does it make sense? So it puts you from a point of curiosity and it makes you very, very, very powerful, right? Yes, Sharon, positive thinking, but it's so much more than that. It's so much more. I have met so many people that have said to me, I know I'm going to live. I know I'm going to live. I know I'm going to live, but they're dying inside because they don't truly believe it, because they've just employed some positive thinking. They've just kind of painted over the crappy wall instead of fixing the wall. So it's so much more. Positive thinking is good, and that's the first dip in the pool, but it's so much more than that. It's actually replacing negative thoughts with something constructive that makes a difference in your life. That's where healing starts to happen. Which leads me to my second point and my second tip, I guess, which is change. Dr. Wayne Dyer said, change the way you look at things and the things you look at will change. What? Let me say that again. Change the way you look at things and the things that you look at will change. That gives me goosebumps. I just totally got goosebumps. Every time I hear that, I'm like, that is so powerful. That is so powerful. And so everything in our life has a beginning and end. And so if we look at this current situation of having active cancer in our bodies, then we have to assume at some point that part of our lives will be over. And not that our lives will be over, but that part of our journey will be over. And so if that is the case, then we can assume that our negative thoughts that we have at some point will be over. And so we have to change the way that we look at things, and then the things that we look at will begin to change. If we focus only on the presence of negativity, then we can never see or never enjoy the times and the places when it's not there, because we're always looking for it. We're always looking for that negative emotion. We're always looking for that negative part of things. And we can never appreciate when it's not present. We just gloss over when it's not present. And so we truly need to take the precedent off of the negative emotion and start celebrating the positive emotions and the positivity in our lives, the things that we're staying curious about, the things that we're changing. There are a lot of people out there right now who are struggling. I see it all the time in a lot of these cancer boards and cancer groups on Facebook. I see, and it just breaks my heart. And it people say, I just don't think I have any fight left in me. I don't think that I just can't see a way out of this. And I just want to scream, cancer is not your destiny. And it's because they have not made the shift. They have not made the shift into changing the way that they look at things. And so therefore, nothing is changing. So change is very important on many levels. If you're one of my clients, I have asked you to make massive shifts and massive changes in your lives. Not impossible ones, but big ones, big shifts, big changes in your life. You need to be open to those situations. My third point and my third tip is going to be expanding your thought process out of just yourself. At some point, the Dalai Lama was asked, "What do you do when you have a negative thought?" And the Dalai Lama said, "It arises out of negativity. Negative thoughts arise out of our self-centeredness. We live in a world of I, my, me, me. And we refuse to accept that there are other people in the world that have problems, and a lot of them that have much bigger problems than we have." And I know a lot of you are going, what could be bigger than cancer? A lot of things. There are a lot of things that can be bigger than cancer. But because we're always focused on me, my, I, it really makes us feel like we live in this little small world, that we live in this little small encapsulated world. And although we know that there are other people suffering out there, it's very hard for us to wrap our head around that because we're living in such a self-absorbed situation. But when we take ourselves out of that and we do begin to think about other people and their struggles. My clients that do the very best are actually clients that contribute to society, clients that volunteer, clients that are trying to start programs I call it cancer witnessing, are cancer witnessing to other people that are sharing their testimony about their cancer journey and how successful that they have been. Those clients do the very best. And one of the reasons they do is because the perception of me, my, I has been shifted. And their world goes from being very small to being really big. And their eyes are opened to other people's struggle. And I will tell you, one of the best ways that you can show empathy for other humans around you is to pray for people that you may not even know. Instead of praying for your healing all the time, Lord, heal me, Lord, heal me, Lord, heal me. Instead of that, I know there are a lot of you that are Christians out there, so it's very relevant. If you're not, however you seek that higher power, whatever that is for you, instead of doing that, take the focus off of yourself and start praying for other people that you know that are in need. Your world gets a lot bigger and you realize that you're not alone. And when you realize that you're not alone, then you've unblocked a healing pathway. It's very powerful. So the three tips that I have: stay curious, change, right? Change the way you look at things, and the things that you look at will change. And 3, step outside of yourself, expand outside of your problem. Love on people that have other problems. Maybe it's not cancer. Maybe it's financial struggles. Maybe it's struggles with their kids. Maybe it's other health conditions. Maybe it's family that needs to be healed. Whatever it is, expand outside of that. I was actually inspired for this piece tonight from a website called mission.org. And I just thought it was such when I read it, I thought, wow, that is something that I need to share with other people. And it wasn't cancer specific, it was mindset specific, but I thought that it was so powerful. So I just want to give a shout out to mission.org for the amazing information that helped inspired this talk tonight. So if any of you have any questions and you want to put those out there, I'm going to take a few minutes to take your questions. I'd be happy to do that. I know that we're a small group tonight. But I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Just remember keeping that in the forefront. If I worry, will it help? How powerful that is. You can absolutely steal my husband's idea about putting Postit notes around to trigger your mindset on that. It's really helped him tremendously. If you are truly struggling and you need more help than I offered tonight, you are welcome to reach out to me. Just please know that my schedule is completely and utterly booked until I think the second week of September right now. So I do free one-on-one calls. I call them breakthrough sessions. They are to talk to you a little bit about my program, my one-on-one coaching program that I offer, but they're also to help you a little bit further in your own journey in that call. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can go, I will just put it right here. I'll type it in. Let's see here with Leslie. And you just go to this website. It is a apply situation. And the reason we say apply is because somebody asked me that question. Why do you say apply? Because I don't accept everyone in the program. You do need to have active cancer, be in active cancer treatments, or have had cancer in the past year or so, or the past year or less. Sorry, not year or so, but year or less. Those are the only people that I take in my program right now. I'm not working on people that are interested in prevention or people that have been in remission for years. I'm only working with people that are in emergency situations. So yes, so do know that if your application is not approved, that is typically the reason. And we let you know too if it's not approved and why. So yes, because my time is so limited and I stay so busy all the time, I do have to be rather picky about who comes into the program and who doesn't. So yes, you're welcome, Anne Marie. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for being here tonight. I really super appreciate all of you guys being here. Does anybody have any questions for me? If not, I'm going to pop out. I'll wait just a few more minutes. You're very welcome, Barbara. Thank you for being here tonight. It's a pleasure to have you here. Yes. Yeah. Terrence is saying, I've learned to pray that I don't over worry. Yeah, you don't want to get complacent. I do agree with that. But you also don't want your worry to consume you either. Worry can be a life robber. Honestly, it can rob you of your potential. Thank you, Anne, so much. It can rob you potential of living a full, healthy, amazing life. I know so many people that are they have like superpowers. You're very welcome, Susan. Thank you so much for being here this evening. They have superpowers and they worry about what other people will think or being successful or not so much that they don't allow those superpowers to be put out into the world because they're so worried about what will happen, about the risk that it takes. And I have never been one of those people. I'm like, just do it and ask questions later. I have always been like a massive risk taker in my life, especially when it comes to when I think I can help somebody else. I will take every risk to do so. So yeah, it's never been my thing, but it's people do not live their full potentials because they spend so much time worrying about what if, and that whole like crystal balling your life is so living in the future is removes so much of your spark for the present. Try living in the past can be damaging as well, but also living in the future, trying to figure out what is going to happen to you in the future, it just steals your spark for the present. And so I would encourage every single one of you to always live in the present, to live as closely to the present as possible. So many times I have come across somebody who has been saving their whole life. They missed out on all the adventures in life because they've been saving money their entire lives, and then they get cancer and they're like, I didn't even, all I did was work to save money and to, do these and to make sure that my future was secure. And now I feel like I don't have a future, which is not necessarily the truth, but that's how it like robs you of that. And so all they've done is lived in the future, and it has robbed them of the joy of the present. And so there needs to be a balance there. Planning for your future is awesome, but not when it's stealing what is happening today. Right? I have never met anybody that on their deathbed that they said, I wish I would have worked more. I wish I would have left more money in the bank. I wish I would have had, I wish that I would have not spent so much time with my family. It's all opposite of that. They always wish that they had spent every dollar that they had ever made. They always wish that they would have worked less. They always wish that they would have spent more time with their family. Every single person. And so, don't crystal ball your life so much that it robs you of your present. It's so damaging. And when you get to the end of your life, you don't want to be that person that's like shoulda, coulda, woulda, because then it's too late. You need to live in the present now. You need to enjoy the present now, because whether you have cancer or not, you are not guaranteed another second on this planet. You are not guaranteed another second on this planet. And so you need to live that life to the fullest with every joy and every excitement and every adventure that it affords. Right? Love it. I love it. Thank you, Terrence, for sharing that with us. Important lesson. Okay, guys, since there's no questions and I'm done preaching, I'm going to scat out of here. You guys have an amazing evening. I will not be here next Tuesday, but I promise I'll be here after that. And then I'm going to be here for a long stint of time, Tuesday after Tuesday. Like, you're going to get sick of me and stuff. So I hope you guys have an amazing week. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Please do not drink and drive. I just feel like I always have to say that. If you feel like you've drank too much, please find somebody to drive you home, right? And do not take that risk at all, right? There you go. Our plan was written when we were born. I love it. Thank you, Anne-Marie. And Anna's saying absolutely, abso-freaking-lutely. Yep. All right. Love you guys so much. Night, night, Ann. You guys have a great evening. I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye, everybody. Bye.